Hello, friends. I'm Melvin Ramsey. This is my devotional. I'm going to do a new thing. I'm going to just tell you, what we're going to be reading in the devotional. We're going to be reading today in Genesis 22. We're going to learn about Abraham and God telling him to offer Isaac, and how God blesses Abraham because Abraham obeyed God, even though Abraham didn't know why. And but we're not. I'm going to, for sake of time, and it's not trying to skip anything, but just get straight right into the devotional. So I'm gonna pause the video and then we'll be back into devotional. All right, so we're reading in Genesis 22. It says, "And it came to pass after these things that God did tempt Abraham, and said unto him, Abraham, and he said, Behold, here I am. And he said, Take now thy son, thine only son Isaac, whom thou lovest, and get thee into the land of Moriah, and offer him there for a burnt offering upon one of the mountains, which I will tell thee of. And Abraham rose up early in the morning, and saddled his ass, and took two of his young men with him, and Isaac his son, and clave the wood for the burnt offering, and rose up and went unto the place of which God had told him. Then on the third day Abraham lifted up his eyes, and saw the place afar off. And Abraham said unto his young men, Abide ye here with the ass, and I and the lad will go yonder and worship, and come again to you. So Abraham, he probably wasn't happy about this. Think about it. It takes you forever to have a son. It takes you forever to have a child that God tells you you're going to have, and then God tells you, sacrifice your child to me. Wow. That is just something. I mean, you would just have to be very obedient and submissive to God, and that's what Abraham was. Abraham was like, okay, Lord, I'll take my kid, I'll take my child, my lad. So what happens? And Abraham took the wood of the burnt offering and laid it upon Isaac his son, and he took the fire in his hand and a knife, and they went both of them together. And Isaac spake unto Abraham his father, and said, My father. And he said, Here am I, my son. And he said, Behold the fire and the wood, but where is the lamb for a burnt offering? And Abraham said, My son, God will provide himself a lamb for a burnt offering. So they went both of them together. And they came to a place which God had told them of, and Abraham built an altar there, and laid the wood in order, and bound Isaac his son, and laid him on the altar upon the wood. And Abraham stretched forth his hand and took the knife to slay his son. Abraham's about to kill his son because he's doing what God told him to do. Now, something I think is very interesting is, listen to this verse. It says right here, he said in verse 7, And Isaac spake unto his father, and unto Abraham his father, and said, My father. And he said, Here am I, son. And he said, Behold the fire and the wood, but where is the lamb for a burnt offering? So he says, Dad, we have the fire, we have the wood, but where's the lamb? And he says, God will provide himself a lamb. And this is just a thought, but isn't that awesome how he's about to kill Isaac? And he says God will provide himself a lamb, and God provides him a ram, as we learn later, further in the verse, which we're about to get into. But think about this: how God provided His only begotten Son to take the sins of all the people of the earth. I just think it's awesome. I mean, it's like he's saying, where's the lamb that's going to take away the sin? God will provide Himself a lamb. God gave His only begotten Son for us. Just a little evangelistic salvation. It was just an interesting thought there. And the angel of the Lord called unto him out of heaven and said, Abraham, Abraham. And he said, Here am I. And he said, Lay not thy hand upon the lad, neither do thou anything unto him, for now I know that thou fearest God, seeing thou hast not withheld thy son, thine only son, from me. And Abraham lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, behind him a ram caught in the thicket by his horns. And Abraham went and took the ram and offered him up for a burnt offering in the stead of his son. And Abraham called the name of that place Jehovah Jireh, as it is said to this day, In the mount of the Lord it shall be seen. And the angel of the Lord called unto Abraham out of heaven the second time. All right, so the angel, Isaac is spared, but now the angel's talking to Abraham again, is what we hear. And the angel of the Lord called unto Abraham out of heaven the second time and said, By myself have I sworn, saith the Lord, for because thou hast done this thing and hast not withheld thy son, thine only son, that is a blessing, I will bless thee, and in multiplying, I will multiply thy seed as the stars of the heaven, and as the sand which is upon the seashore, and thy seed shall possess the gate of his enemies, and in thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed, because thou hast obeyed my voice. So Abraham returned unto his young men, and they rose up and went together to Beersheba, and Abraham dwelt at Beersheba. And it came to pass after these things that it was told Abraham, saying, Behold, Melech, she hath also born children unto her brother Nahor, Hus the firstborn, and Buz his brother, and Chemel the father of Aram, and Shez, and Azu, and Pidesh, and Jephthah, and Bethuel. Sorry, very tough names to say. And Bethuel begat Rebekah. These 8 Melech did bear Nahor, Abraham's brother, and his concubine, whose name was Reumah. She bare also Tebeth and Gehem and Tishrath and Malchiah. And by the way, concubine is actually a second wife in the Bible. But I just felt like I should have read the whole verse to you guys. Of course, that wasn't really that is relevant. All scripture is given by inspiration. God is profitable for doctrine, for reproof, for correction, and instruction of all righteousness. But that was just that didn't really apply to what we were getting today across. Just realize this: Abraham feared God. He believed God. He put his faith in God. So when God told him to do something, he didn't question God. He just went and did it, even if it meant losing his own son. And I believe Christians today should still have that same obedience to God like Abraham had. I hope you guys enjoyed this devotional, and I hope you guys just enjoyed it. I believe this way is faster. It's less time consuming if I do the devotionals like this for you guys. And shorter devotionals are better. No one's going to really want to watch a 25-minute devotional. Let's be serious. I mean, unless it's required, no one's going to really want to watch it. So 5 to 7 minutes, that's a good time frame. It's good for you guys. Hope you guys enjoy the devotional. Bye. Thank you.